Hello everyone and welcome to Serendipity in Quarantine. Today we are going to see the most important chapter in the polity, that is legislature, and in particularly parliament. Most of the questions in prelim examination comes from this chapter, so this has the most weightage in polity subject. So let's begin. So what is a legislature? It is a law-making body and it has other functions also. For example, it provides platform for elected representatives to be accountable, to hold debates and discussion, etc. But today, in most of the democracy, legislature are losing central place to the executives. For example, in India too, the cabinet initiates policy and sets agenda for governance and carries them through. So sometimes parliamentary form of democracy is also known as cabinet form of democracy. But at the same time, this cabinet, however powerful it can be, it still requires to retain the majority in the legislature to be in power. So this ensures that this form of democracy is the most accountable form of democracy. It also provides the open forum for debate so that all decisions are taken after thorough discussions. Now we will be seeing that why do we need two houses in parliament. So in case of India, we have national legislature, that is called as parliament, and at state level it is known as state legislature. But when there are two houses of the legislature, it is known as bicameral legislature. So the two houses of Indian parliament are Council of State, that is Rajya Sabha, and House of People or Lok Sabha. And in case of states, only 6 states have bicameral legislature. This is the Indian political map, and these 6 states are Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Telangana. But recently Andhra Pradesh has passed a bill to demolish its legislative council, but still the assent from parliament is not given to it. Then countries with large and much diversity usually prefer two houses so that all sections of the society and are represented, and at the same time all geographical regions are also represented. So it is possible to have every decision reconsidered because in bicameral legislature the all decisions take place by considering both houses' opinion. So the any question is discussed twice. So it ensures double checking of the issue. So let us see the first house, that is Rajya Sabha. So Rajya Sabha represents states of India, and it is a indirectly elected body. It means that not people directly vote for this body. Residents of the states elect the member for state legislative assembly, and the elected members of state legislative assembly in turn elect members of Rajya Sabha. There are two types of indirect election for the Rajya Sabha. There can be equal representation given to all parts of the country irrespective of their size of population, which is known as symmetrical representation. In case of USA, they have equal representation, that is symmetrical representation. But in India, we have given number of members to be elected from each state are fixed by the 4th schedule of the constitution. So remember, 4th schedule is dealing with the members of Rajya Sabha. So why we did not adopt this USA's policy that equal representation to all? Because in India all states are not in equal size. For example, Uttar Pradesh as compared with Sikkim has very large size as well as population. So giving both of them equal representation would be unfair to the bigger state. So we wanted to prevent such discrepancy. So the members of Rajya Sabha are elected for the term of 6 years and they can again get re-elected. All members of Rajya Sabha do not complete their term at the same time. So the 1/3 of members from them every 2 years complete their term. So the election are held for those for that 1/3 seats only. So the Rajya Sabha is never fully dissolved. Therefore, it is also known as permanent house of the parliament. So Rajya Sabha also has 12 nominated members, uh, so they are nominated by President of India. These nominations are made among those persons who have made their mark in the fields like literature, science, art and social services. Then let's go to House of Representatives, that is Lok Sabha. So Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly are directly elected by people. For the purpose of election, entire country is divided into territorial constituency, roughly into equal population, and the voting is adopted principle of universal adult suffrage, and at present there are 543 constituency. So this number has not changed since 1971 consensus. So why this was not changed? Because after 1971 the increasing population was not at equal rate in all states. So this may, if we had increased the number of constituency as per the increase in population, then it might have given advantage to those having higher population. So it was contradictory to Indian population control. Hence it was frozen since 1971. Then Lok Sabha is elected for the period of 5 years. So what does Parliament do? So Parliament has various functions. We know the first important function is legislative function, as it is national legislature. So what does it means? So it is a chief lawmaking body. It often merely approves legislation because most of the bills are framed by the bureaucrats, and then ministers approve the bills. So no major bill is introduced in Parliament without approval of the cabinet. Other members can also introduce the bill, but there are very low chances that this will be passed by the government. Then there is control of executives and ensuring its accountability. Also, Parliament has some financial functions. For example, bills like money bills, annual financial statements are passed by the Parliament, which decides the budget of the government. Then the money which government can spend or its resources which it wish to raise are also decided by the Parliament. Then Parliament also provides representation of various parts of the government. For example, different regional, social, economical, religious groups of different parts of country are represented at the Parliament. It is also debating forum for the elected representatives. So the members are free to speak on any matter without fear. Then constituent function. So Parliament has power of discussing and enacting changes in the constitution. So all constitutional amendments have to be approved by the special majority of the both houses. Then electoral function. It performs some electoral function like it elects president and vice president of India. Then judicial functions. For example, it considers proposal for removal of president, vice president and judges of high courts and supreme courts. So now we will be seeing individual powers, like powers of Rajya Sabha or powers of Lok Sabha. So this is the chart which compares their power. So we will be seeing one by one. So Lok Sabha makes laws on subjects in the union list and as well as in the concurrent list. Then it has special power to enact money and non-money bills, but Rajya Sabha cannot enact on money bills. It can only consider approval of non-money bills. Then Lok Sabha can also approve proposals for taxation, budgets, annual financial statements, controls of executives. Annual financial statement. But here no such power is given to Rajya Sabha. Then in Lok Sabha, executives are controlled by asking questions, supplementary questions, resolution, motion and the special no confidence motion. But no such provision is here. Here they can only ask questions and introduce motions and resolutions. Lok Sabha can amend constitution while Rajya Sabha can approve constitutional amendment. Lok Sabha approves proclamation of emergency but no such power to Rajya Sabha. Then Lok Sabha elects president and vice president and removes judges of supreme courts and high courts. and it also has established committees. While Rajya Sabha can participate in election and removal of president and vice president and judges of High Court. It can also initiate procedure for removal of vice president. So these were the comparison of their powers. So there are some special powers of Rajya Sabha. Until now we saw that Lok Sabha had major hand over the Rajya Sabha, but there are some powers of Rajya Sabha unique to it. For example, it helps to protect powers of the state and it provides representation to the all parts of the country. Thus, it union wishes to remove the any matter from state list over which, for example, only state legislature can make law into union or concurrent list, the approval of Rajya Sabha becomes necessary. Then there are some powers exercised only by Lok Sabha, and only so Rajya Sabha cannot initiate, reject or amend money bills. We saw that in earlier table. So how does the parliament make the law? So this procedure is very important. Remember this. First, any law is in the form of bill. Then it is introduced either in either house, or if it is a non-money bill. Then this bill is sent to committee or discussed in the house itself. Then that committee gives report on that bill. And in this process, people's input is also taken. For example, at any public platform or website, the bill is displayed so that people can provide their input. Then house may or may not accept that report, or if they accept, then detailed discussion of bill is taken in the house. If bill is accepted, then it is sent to the other house, or if it is rejected, then again other house's opinion is taken. Then other house approves or gives recommendation. If it approves, then it goes to president, and then president signs the bill, and then bill becomes law. But if the other house gives recommendation or there is any deadlock, then joint session will happen, and then at joint session the problem will be solved. Then it will go to the president. But this joint session is not available for money bills. So this was the procedure for any bill to become a law. Then there are various types of bills. So we'll be seeing that. So first, they can be divided into bills from who initiates them. If it is initiated by any member of parliament, then it is government bill, and if it is by a non-member, then it is private member's bill. Then there are two types: non-money bill and money bills. So the money bills deals with the financial issues, while non-money bills can be divided into ordinary bills or constitutional amendment bills. So there are also various public platforms like interest groups, media and citizen forums. They may persuade government to particular legislation. So this, before bill is introduced, parliament may take a lot of debate on the issue if we require bill or that topic or not. So this interest group can play important role here. So once cabinet approves the policy behind legislature, the task of drafting legislation begins. So this is majorly done with the advice of the permanent executives. If it is a money bill, then it can be only introduced in Lok Sabha. Once it is passed there, it is sent to Rajya Sabha. Then Rajya Sabha can provide only recommendation to it, but it is up to Lok Sabha to accept such recommendations or not. And if it is an ordinary bill and there is a disagreement between two houses, then joint sitting of parliament is done. But there are very few instances where joint session was taken to resolve the deadlock. But anyway, because Lok Sabha has more population, more members than Rajya Sabha, the decisions were gone in favor of Lok Sabha. And if it is a money bill, then Rajya Sabha can either approve the bill or suggest changes, but cannot reject. And if takes no action within 14 days, then bill is deemed to have passed. So Article 109 provides special procedure in respect to money bill. For example, money bill shall not be introduced in the Council of State, that is in Rajya Sabha. Then Article 110 talks about money bills, and 112 talks about annual financial statement, that is budget. So this was the first part of the legislature. We'll be seeing a remaining part in the next video. If you like this video, please watch the next part of this video and like, share and subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.